ניסה, תגיד את זה למי שבכוונה.
אבל אני חושבת שזאת הכוונה, לא? עשיתם את זה גם בכוונה?
זה בת זקנה.
אני חשבתי שזה גם בכוונה שעשו את זה ככה.
לא, אבל אני לא חושבת במקצוע. זה שאלתי מה זה בכלל. זה ממש כזה.
Scott would tell us which specific
Yes, I
well, we're going to he's here somewhere.
Haven't heard that much Canada.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And tell me about the women in black here.
Do you know anything about it?
I do, but I want you for the record.
Okay. Women in black in Jerusalem, and that was the first women in black, started a few weeks after the first Intifada. Started with a handful of women who were part of a group called Daily Kibush, a left group, and the initiative was taken in order to draw attention to the continuation of the occupation. The slogan was chosen as the lowest common denominator for all the women. At that time, there was a range of opinion, for instance, about a two-state solution and recognizing the PLO as the legitimate representative of the Palestinians. But all of the women who came were committed to ending the occupation. We started with 7 women at the beginning of January, I think it was, the first week in January, something like that.
Of what year?
The beginning of that was January was 88 or 89.
What?
The beginning of Women in Black. 88? January 88. Right, the Intifada started the end of December 87. And by March, that is 2 months later, on International Women's Day, we had a vigil of 500 women. Now, not all 500 continued to come,
Of course.
every week, but it was clear that the willingness to come and the ease with which we gathered a group that size, and we were tapping into a feeling that hadn't been expressed before. איך עליתי אז, לפני כמה שנים? איך עלית? In the course of that next year, there were vigils started around Israel. I think we had about 30 by the end of, more than 30 perhaps, but something like that by the end of the year. Now the vigils are independent, formally independent of each other, and the vigils is not an organization. It's an individual commitment by every woman who comes, and that is both the strength and the weakness, but primarily the strength of the movement. So that we normally expect, if there's a difficult period, if there's been a bombing nowadays, for instance, or just a difficult moment, more women tend to show up. That's been our experience. And there's a core group here of women who've been in the movement, been here since, the very beginning. But after a period where there was a short period where women, where we didn't stand, but certainly since the Intifada, there's a growing movement, and as you see, men and women now stand.
What was the decision to allow men to stand with you?
During the first years, the groups that contributed most to founding women to establishing it, who came during those very first months, were women of the left parties, the left movements, and radical lesbians. And at that time, the women from the left did not stand, and in fact there is no commitment, no feminist commitment in this. This is a women's movement, but not one that takes up feminist issues in that sense. The lesbian movements on the whole were interested, had as a matter of principle that it be a woman's only movement. So that for a period, for the first couple of years, it was only on very rare occasions, such as the June 8th demonstration, the anniversary of the Sixth Day War, that men and everybody was invited. But over time, this issue of men and women has taken a back seat, and without there having ever been any discussion that changed the decision, there's, I would say, in general understanding that by a women's movement we mean a movement whose initiatives are put forth by women to everybody.
Can you tell me roughly today's group, is that an average number of people here today, or?
Yeah, it's average.
An average number?
Now, average at this point. There are
Between 70 and 80.
And how many groups are standing now around the country?
There are about 10 now.
10 groups?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Standing around the country. New groups come up periodically. And as you probably know, the movement now there are women in black movements around the world, not only on
Yes,
this.
I'm in Women in Black with Odile in Ann Arbor.
And the name Women in Black by now is used by women peaceniks around the world.
Right.
That you know.
But it's essentially the same ideal.
It's the same ideal, and we
always knew when
periodically we act in support of one another.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, we try to do that when we hear of an international vigil, and they have a call for everyone to do the same, and we do that too.
Shirley, and you're listening to me. Kadiba. Kadiba.
אני בית סוהר, אבל אתה בית מיד. אני נותן, שבועה. לא. בלי ידיים. אבל בלי ידיים. אתה יכול לדבר, אני יכול לדבר.
Can you tell me what you've been doing with the Fellowship of Reconciliation?
Yes, our major focus is trying to influence public policy back in home. So we've been traveling around the area, trying to get a sense of the settlement problem. We met with Jeff Helper, and he was kind of explaining to us how the insidious nature of the settlement policy. We went there. We were in Hebron last night, in the old city, which is now a ghost town because the Israeli army has it sealed off and it's closed down. The Palestinian people don't even want to come out of their homes. In fact, they can't really come out of their homes because during the closed time.
Why can't they come out of their homes?
Because the military has closed the city, that section of the city off. And so when it's under curfew, then they're at risk of being shot. If not, certainly harassed.
But the military let you into Ramallah.
Right. Not Ramallah, Hebron.
Oh, Hebron, sorry.
Yeah, they let us in, and because of course we told them we were FOR and that we were there trying to gather information. And so many in the military are at least open to conversation about the occupation. Some aren't, but many are. The settlers, on the other hand, are not open at all. They just want the Palestinians out of Israel, out of the West Bank, and they just want to move in, demolish their homes, and build their own settlements. 2 days ago, we were here at a eviction here in Jerusalem. Well, us, along with a lot of other individuals, both from the international community and from the local activists here, to stand in solidarity and try and stop an eviction. And it worked. There's the Palestinian family that have lived in that house for generations are still there.
How did you stop them?
That we just by the sheer numbers of us there, the police went by, looked at how many people were there, and apparently decided it was more trouble than it was worth. That they would then just go away. Everybody feels fairly certain that they'll be back. You know, and when there's not as many people,
right,
then they'll go ahead and proceed on with what they're going to do anyway. Apparently there's a dual claim by some settler who has some kind of documentation that says that, you know, thousands of years ago it was a Jewish homeland, and so they just want to move in.
Right.
And, I mean, the police were prepared to just put this family out on the street. These people have nowhere to go. I mean, they were just going out with whatever possessions that they could carry right then, on the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
So we're very pleased that that didn't happen.
So how long are you here for?
We're here for 2 weeks. So the 26th, which is what, next Friday?
Yeah.
We'll be leaving next Friday. In the meantime, we're going to hope to go to Ramallah today, and if we can, into Jenin as well, today and tomorrow. And the next day, I don't even know, I've lost track of what day it is. We're going to actually also stay we're going to go to a Jewish worship service and meet with Jewish families and try and get their perspective as well. Because we want, if you don't know both sides, you really can't talk intelligently about the issue, and it's very complex.
That's right.
And you came here to support?
Yes, I came here to support the peace movement.
That's great. That's good.
There's a lot of us.
Yeah?
No. Yeah.
I hope you wouldn't get into trouble.
Yeah. Thank you.
One did. It says we want to live. This is not a war of existence. It's not war of no choice. It's not a war of second liberation. It's war on territories. We don't need to get used to the bombings, to the terror, to the depression, to the no political end. We don't need to get used to war. We never gave up on our independence. No people have given up on his independence. No occupation has ever ended in surrender. Sharon wouldn't save us with guns and bombs. Every hit, every humiliation spreads more seeds of terror. People are under military occupation will only bring fruits of war, to stop the bloodshed from both sides, so the country could go forward for by-existence, a real by-existence with her neighbors, so the country of Israel could bring down the barrier of war and to take care of the real problems, the economical problems, the social problems, the tearing of the people. We have to stop the occupations. We have to return to negotiation even and especially when things are tough, because there's no other solution. There is no military solutions. This is the teenagers' road.
So, like high school students, and
Yeah.
that's very beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Edith, and I'm in Meretz, and I'm here just to help them not to get into fight with the other groups who sometimes start to hit them or try
Really?
to throw things at them. The cops that bothers them sometimes, or they need some grown-ups to be here, so otherwise they'll get smashed.
And how old are you?
I am 29. Huge, bigger than them.
Okay, thank you very much.